Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to week 10. So, this week we're going to look at websites. Okay, so we're going to start with a review and then we're going to look at website addresses, and then our grammar for today is going to be expressions of certainty. Okay, so the review activity for today is for data security. So I want you to choose one of the computer crimes we looked at last week, or another type of computer crime. So you can use Google search or another search engine to find an example of this crime having been committed. Okay, and then we will discuss some of the examples that you find in the practicum session. So maybe you can find a Wikipedia entry or a news story or something like that. Okay, and then we're just going to talk about it. Okay, so for our glossary this week, we have 6 terms. Now, I think you should all be familiar with these terms already from your knowledge of IT, but maybe you don't know the English vocabulary. So www stands for World Wide Web, and we have to type it in when we are going to a website for web service. And then URL actually stands for Uniform Resource Locator. And that's the part of the web address that locates where the website is on the network of the internet. Okay, and then extension is the last part of the address, and that could be for an educational institution or a governmental institution. We'll look at that a bit later. So I want you to look up the meaning in English for the other 3 terms by yourself. Okay, you can use Google, and we'll go over those in the practicum session. All right, so here is a web address, a website address, and we can divide it up into the parts. So the first part, HTTP, we call the protocol or the prefix. Okay, then we have the www, which is the web service. Okay, then the next part is the domain, and the final part is the domain name extension. So the domain could be the Dell, like the Dell Institute. Okay, but I want you to look those terms up and we're going to discuss them. Okay, here is an activity. I want you to match the extensions listed there to the meanings. Okay, so we'll do it together in the practicum session, or I'll ask you for the answers. So you need to do this so that you know the answers for the practicum session. All right, here's a link for today's reading. So it's important that you do the reading before the practicum session as well, because we're going to discuss the reading. Okay, I'm going to ask this question in the practicum session, so you need to think about the answer. Based on the text, does the writer believe that the internet has a good or bad impact overall? Okay, so overall means the over the, it means what the writer thinks, okay? What is his final thinking on whether the internet has a good or bad impact? Okay, so the grammar for today, expressions of certainty. So in expressing certainty, there are a number of expressions that speakers can use. Okay, so here is our list of certainty expressions in the affirmative. So in the affirmative means it's saying yes, okay, it's positive. So on the left here, you can see we have this arrow of certainty at the top. We're less certain or less sure. And then as we go down, we're more certain or more sure. So we use these certainty expressions to convey levels of certainty. Okay, so we have, for the verbs, we have could, may, and might, which are less certain. So it could rain tomorrow. We're not sure, it's not certain. And then on the bottom we have certainty. It will rain tomorrow. So we know that it is going to rain because there is a high level of certainty. Then we have the adverbs possibly, probably, likely, certainly. So as we go down, we get more certain. So it's likely that it will rain. So there is a high chance of it raining, but it's not certain. Okay, and then we have the adjectives, possible, probable, expected, and certain. All right, then we have the negative uses of these expressions of certainty. So again, we have the arrow here. We have less certain down to more certain. So this is for the negative though. So that means we're less certain that something will not happen, or we're more certain that something will not happen, or we are certain that something will not happen. Okay, so we can say it may not rain tomorrow. So that means it could rain. There's a chance that it will. It may not. Or we can say it will not rain tomorrow. So it's certain. It cannot rain tomorrow. It's not going to rain tomorrow. Okay. Then we have the adverbs possibly, probably. So probably, we can say probably not or probably won't. Then we have unlikely, certainly not, certainly won't. Adjectives possible, improbable, not expected, uncertain, impossible. Okay, so let's have a look at some examples. So for the verbs, she will pass the test. Okay, so that is certain. She will pass. She may pass the test. So it's possible that she will pass, but it's not certain. They couldn't have hacked my computer because I don't have a computer. Okay, so that is certainly not. It's the negative form. It's impossible. Okay, I may not ever be a victim of salami shaving. So that's a negative expression there, but it's not certain. Okay. So for the adverbs, she certainly will pass the test. She possibly will pass the test. It is unlikely that such a novice hacker will penetrate your firewall. The website link certainly won't work. It has no full stops. Okay, and then adjectives. It is certain that she will pass the test. It is expected that she will pass the test. It is possible that she will pass the test. It is improbable your computer will explode. Okay. It is impossible that your computer will turn into a cat. There's a cat for you. All right, so let's rank these three sentences in order from less possible to certain. So when we rank something, we put it into order. So we say first, second, third. All right, let's read the three sentences here. It is probable that they will have the answer. They certainly will have the answer. It is likely that they will have the answer. So if we rank these three sentences from less certain to more certain or to certain, we would have this order here. So less certain, it is probable that they will have the answer. More certain, it is likely that they will have the answer. And then absolutely certain, they certainly will have the answer. Okay, so our first practice question. For the practice questions this week, we're going to do the same thing again as last week. I'm going to ask you to share your answers in the practicum session. Okay, so for this practice, you need to rank these predictions according to how certain the speakers are. Put the most certain at the top of your list and the least certain at the bottom. Okay, and some predictions will have equal ranking. Okay. And for practice 2, I want you to make predictions for the next 10 years using these two statements. Okay, so when we predict something or make a prediction, we're saying what's going to happen in the future. Okay, so we have two statements here. I think it is impossible that in the next 10 years, and I think it is certain that in the next 10 years. So we have the affirmative certainty and the negative certainty here. So here are my examples of this task. I think that it's impossible that climate change will be completely solved in the next 10 years. I think it is certain that flying cars will be popular in the next 10 years. Okay, so practice 3, we have this passage here with gaps, okay? So you need to insert each of these words into these gaps, okay? And you need to use all of these words, which means you can only use one word once. So likely goes in one place, certain in one place, might not goes in one place. So you need to use all of these words and put them into the slots here. Okay, and I'm going to check your answers in the practicum session. All right, so here's a final task. I want you to post a link to an interesting website that you have visited. Maybe a news website, a blog, or a link to a YouTube video as a comment on this lecture. So you need to comment on this lecture video with a web address link. Okay, so you post the web address link, and then I want you to click on a website link or address that one of your classmates has posted on this video. I want you to have a look at the website, read some of the content on the website, and then come back to the lecture video and describe the website in one sentence in a comment on one of your classmates' posts on the video. Okay, so you comment on the posted link, your description of the website that you visited. Okay, so next week is going to be computing support officer is the topic. Okay, there's our reference. All right, good work everyone. So you're all doing a good job, and I'll see you all on Tuesday or on Wednesday for the other students. Okay. Thank you, everyone.